Okay, so hello everyone. Today we will be solving the problem zero array transformation 2. Okay, so the question, as you can see, the question number is 33356. Okay, so it is marked as a medium one. Now let's just read the description and try to solve this problem. Okay, so you are given an integer array nums of length n. Okay, so and a 2D array queries. Okay, the query I represent the L, Li, Ri and val I. Okay. Each query represents the following action on nums. Decrement the value at each index in the range Li, Ri. Okay. So Li, Ri, it represents the range in nums at most value I. Okay. So and the amount by which each value is decremented can be chosen independently for each index. A zero array is an array with all its elements equal to 0. Okay. Return the minimum possible non-negative value of k such that after processing first k queries in sequence, nums array becomes zero array. If no such k exists, return -1. Okay. So what we need to do in this question that we are given an array nums and we need to perform queries on it. Okay. In this query, li, ri represent the range in which we can decrement the value I. Okay. So how we can decrement it? We need to decrement in such a way that it becomes a zero array. Okay, and zero array is an array in which all elements equal to 0, right? Okay, so so the maximum which we can decrease is val of I. Okay, so let me just go to the example and then we can see what we can do it. Okay. So suppose this is our nums given, which is 2 comma 0 comma 2, and they are queries. Okay, like there are three queries, right? Okay. So what we are doing here, that see the output is 2, right? Okay. So now let's see for the explanation part what we are trying to do here, right? Okay. So this is our nums array. This is our first query, right? Okay. So at first query, L is equal to 0 and R is equal to 2 and the value is 1, right? Okay. Okay, so decrement the value from let me just also write it, right? Here is a this is our array, right? 0 comma 2. Okay, and the indexes are 0, 1 and 2, right? Okay, so what we need to do from 0 to 1, like for this range, what we have to do, we need to decrement the values, right? So at max we can decrement the val I, like okay, the value given we can decrement at max this value. Okay, so to make it 0 we will be subtracting 1 here. Okay, so this will become 1, right? Wait just a second, this will become 1, right? This one is already 0, right? If we suppose like this one will be this is already 0, right? Okay, so after processing first query, as you can see, okay, let me just, okay, I have taken the window is still here. Okay, just a second. The window is still here, like it's 0 comma 2 na, so it will be here. It's still here, right? So when we come to this, we decrement it by 1, so this will become 1 comma 0 comma 1, right? Okay, so in the next query, you can see that it's a like it's the same query. Okay, so the range will be same, value will be same. So what's our array look like? Something it looks something like this right now, right? Okay, and what are the indexes? It's 0 comma 1 comma right? So when we decrement the values here, what it will become, right? So suppose we decrement it, it becomes 0, right? It is already 0, so no need to decrement, and it will also decrement to 0. Okay. So at what step we got 0 comma 0? Like at what index it becomes a 0 array? At how many steps? 2, right? Because how many queries did we processed? Like this was the first one, right? This was the second one. So can we say that after processing 2 queries, we got our answer, right? Okay. So as you can see, we processed 2 queries. Here also you can see we processed 2 queries, right? Okay. So the question is clear. Okay, it's straightforward, I can say. Okay. So see here are the constraints. Okay. We will come to it later also. Okay. Let me just show you this code, like the plain one. Okay. Like the intuitive one or the brute force one. Okay. So you can suppose. Okay. Let me just show you. Okay. So if all the elements in the nums are already 0, we'll return 0, right? This is for that. We are checking if it's already 0, we are returning 0, okay? Because then we don't have to process any query, right? Okay. So here you can see, okay, here we are processing the queries, right? Here the queries are being processed, right? L represent the left range and the left value, and the R is representing the right value, okay? And val we have here. Okay. We're running it from L to R, right? Okay. I equal to 0. If nums of I is equal to 0, continue. Okay, we don't have to process anything. Okay. Here, if the nums of I is greater than or equal to val, we just subtract it. And else if val is greater and nums is smaller, so what we can write? We can write 0, because see, we don't have to necessarily decrement the value which has been given. Okay, we can at max use that value, right? So suppose the value is 8, the value suppose it comes to be 8, okay, and nums of I is 5, okay. So we can just like subtract, just a second, we can just subtract like -5 from 5, and we will get our answer as 0, right? Okay. And we're checking at every turn if it's a 0 array or not. If it's not, then we are moving forward. Now if it is, we are doing just returning the index plus 1. And if this haven't been returned, we return -1, because we never got the 0 array, right? Okay. So this will give you time limit exceed. Okay, it has given me out of 627, 624 test cases were passed. Okay, but I think you should like code it, because it will only benefit you because you have practiced it. Okay, right. So now how we are trying to solve it? We will be using the concept of we can also use a segment tree here, because as you can see the okay. So let me just we can also use a segment tree here, but segment tree, because we are processing it on the range. Okay, so segment tree would be a good choice. And another thing which we can use is array difference technique. Okay, so we will be doing it by array difference technique, right? Because there's nothing like very much to do in this question, so we won't be using segment tree. We will be doing array difference technique. Okay. We'll be doing array we will be doing it by this technique. Okay, so let me just show you what this technique is all about, and then we will be solving it, right? Because in spite of using this, we would have to also use one more thing in it. Okay, so it's not enough for this question because the question is good, right? I mean, the question is good because of its constraint. Okay, so let me just show you how we can do it. So, okay, as in this question, we were iterating it again and again. Okay, but let me just show you what we are going to do it. Okay, suppose you take a diff, a difference array or vector, what you can say whatever you want. Okay, suppose we are taking a diff. Okay, it has the same number of elements in it, and initially all like it has three elements. Okay, so it will also have three elements, but in this all will be zero, right? All will be zero. The index are also let me just also mention the index, which is 0, 1 and 2. Okay, now here comes the main part of the question. Okay, we will be processing queries one by one, right? Like, but we won't be processing it like we will be processing all the queries at once. Okay, so that's the benefit of using this technique. Okay, let me just remove it once. Okay, then we can solve it. Just a second. Okay, okay. So suppose we are here. What is trying to say? To do what? Like subtract 1 from 0 to 2. Okay. So what we can do, suppose, let me just bring this difference here, then we better if we just, yeah, great. Suppose we are here, right? Mm, yeah, where is the cursor? Suppose we are here. Okay, suppose we are here. And what we were doing that we were like for each query we were iterating. Okay, but we won't be doing in this like in this case. What is trying to say that add the value at 0 to 2. Okay, in this we are adding it, but let me just show you how to make the difference array. Okay, first we suppose we need to add 1 to 0 comma 0 to 2. Okay, in this range we need to add the value. Okay, so just simply add the value of 1, and if possible at the lth index, like L is here and R is here. Okay, so if possible, like the L will be possible, right? Just add the value, and if possible subtract the value minus 1 at R plus 1. Okay, here R plus 1 will be out of bound, but if available I will be showing you an example in which we will be doing it. Okay, we can also do it in this question also. Okay, let me just, or I will show you in some another test case, right? Okay, so if possible do the val minus 1 at r plus 1 index. Okay, again this query comes. Okay, so the r and l will be same, right? So then what do? We just again add the value to it. Okay, so it becomes 2, and suppose if the r plus 1 was available, so here will be what? It will be -2. So then what, just do that calculate the cumulative sum of it. If you do it, what it will become? It will become 2 comma 0 comma 2. So what does this difference will help us with? Okay, see, uh, like it will help that, wait, it will be 2, right? Just a second. This will also be 2. This will also be 2 because we have calculated the cumulative sum. And suppose if we came here, okay, let's just suppose that there was a value here. Okay, there was a value, right? So this 3 is included. This 3 is the part of the question, right? So what would have happened that, see, we have done the processing till index 2, right? So as soon as we have calculated the cumulative sum, it would have become 0. It would have nullified the effect of it, right? Are you getting the point? It would have nullified the effect. We would have only like the process the queries in the given range only. Okay, it would have nullified the effect, and at the index 3 would have never been affected, right? So what we are doing, that we are subtracting these values from the nums. It will give us the same result, right? Okay, so nums is here, right? Okay, nums is, let me just write it. It will be 2 comma 0 comma 2, and suppose like it here it is 0. So if we would have subtracted this from this, we would have get the same result, and we don't have, and we like we there was any there wasn't any like need to process it again and again. So it would have given us something like this, right? Okay. So this is the array difference technique by which we can solve the question, right? Okay. So if we subtracted the, and it would have given us the difference array, like the zeroth array. Okay, so it would have given us a 0 array. Okay. So we will be doing this, and okay, it would have like, for each query would we don't have to like go through the range. Okay, we can just do it in a cumulative way, right? In a single way, in a single iteration. Okay, so this was for the processing of the queries, right? Okay, let me just show you how. Let me go to the code. Like, okay, so this is the difference array technique. As you can see, it's the size of the nums, right? Okay, and what we are doing it, that for each query we are processing it, right? Okay, we have been processing it, and if r plus 1 is available, like it, if it's within the range, we are putting the minus value there. Okay, right. Okay, like here you can see we are at diff of L, it's a difference array, right? And at r plus 1 we are updating the value. Okay, okay, so this is the way how we can calculate it, right? And we are checking, like we have here we are calculating the cumulative sum of it. Okay, here we are calculating the cumulative sum of it. Okay, and if at any point we couldn't find the value, that we can't convert it to a zero array, we return false. Okay, So see, this isn't also any better approach, because what we are doing that we need to find the number of queries, right? Because like first if we go here, like suppose first if we go to this query, and suppose this query gives us answer, then we go to this, okay, then we go to this. So to optimize this linearity, we will be using binary search here. Okay, so it's a combination of like both. See, here if we find our answer, we need we are trying to minimize the number of queries. Okay, if it returns true that yes, the array, the nums has been converted to what, zero array, right? Then we are minimizing it and storing the answer mid plus one, right? So it's a combination of both, like the, like what I would say, the difference array and binary search, right, to optimize it. Okay, so I think that for like these kinds of question, you must like study this array difference technique and the segment tree, because segment tree it's a bit complex data structure, but it can be used for these kinds of question. Okay, okay, these two topics are important for it. And the binary search, I hope that you may be knowing it, so I won't be going on that because it's just a simple binary search. Okay, so yeah, as you can see, the code is ending. Okay, so yeah, that's all for this question, and have a nice day ahead.